All right, so this is 1-4, solve absolute value equations. First thing we need to figure out is what is absolute value? Well, absolute value is the distance a number is from 0. What do I mean by this? Well, we have a number line, 0's in the middle. Now, here's the thing. If I say the absolute value of a number is 5, well, what does that mean? Well, it means we are 5 units from 0. So we could be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could be at 5. Or we could be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would be -5. So we could be either at +5 or -5. But here's the funny thing about absolute value. It is always positive. Because it's distance. And distance, no matter if you go to the right, to the left, up, or down, you're always going somewhere. So now, in order to find the absolute value of a number, we're talking about how far it is from 0. So if I say the absolute value of x is 7, well, that says, yeah, we could be at 7, right? We could have gone a positive distance of 7 units, or I could have gone to the left 7 units, and I would be at -7. So there's typically 2 answers to absolute values. So what you do is you have the absolute value of x equals 7. Notice the absolute value is by itself. We're going to break that apart. We're going to set it, what's in the absolute value bars, equal to 7. And we're going to set it equal to -7. We're going to solve that. So that's what this little key concept says. Whenever we have the absolute value by itself, we're going to set it equal to a positive number and a negative number. So going through some examples here, we're going to set n plus 3 equal to 7. And we're also going to set n plus 3 equal to -7. So in order to solve this, I'm going to subtract 3. That's going to give me n equals 4. And if I subtract 3 over here, this is going to give me n equals -10. So notice here's my 2 answers. 4 and -10. Here, there's just a little bit more work here. So I'm going to go ahead and set that equal to 18. So I have 4n equals 18. I have 4n minus 5 equals -18. So in order to solve that, I first have to follow my steps to solve, which is SATMAP. So I'm going to get rid of that subtraction first. That gives me 4n equals 23. Then I divide by 4. And yeah, I'm going to get this fraction here. You're likely to get fractions with absolute values. So don't freak out about that. Here, I'm going to add 5. And that's going to give me 4n equals -13. Divide by 4. We get n equals -13 over 4. So again, I got 2 fractions here. I'm not freaking out because I know I did my work right. Now, number 11, I don't know why they circled it. But I'm going to break that apart into 3p plus 7 equals 4 and 3p plus 7 equals -4. Go ahead and start out by subtracting 7. So we have 3p equals -3. And then I'm going to divide by 3. Okay. And I get p equals -1. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to subtract 7. That gives me 3p equals -11. Divide by 3, and we get p equals -11 thirds. Now, to recap what we did, notice in each of these cases, 9, 10, and 11, the absolute value, meaning this was by itself. In each of the cases, there was nothing else going on. And that allows me to break it apart into a positive version of the number and a negative version of the number, and I go ahead and solve. Okay, and we're just going to do these 3 problems. They're a little bit more complicated, but we're just going to go from here. So here, first thing I need to do is notice the absolute value is not by itself. There's that 3 out in front, so I have to divide by 3. And that gives me 13 minus 2t. All right, the absolute value of that equals 5. And now I can break these apart. So I have 13 minus 2t equals 5, and 13 minus 2t equals negative 5. Go ahead and subtract 13. Negative 2t equals, and that's going to be negative 8. And I'm going to go ahead and divide by negative 2. And I'm going to get t equals 4. Now the problem with absolute value problems is you're going to run out of room real quick. I know what I'm doing, I ran out of room. So you have to plan accordingly. Give yourself a little bit of room in between your problems. Don't stack them on top of each other. So on this one, I subtract 13. I get negative 2t equals negative 18. Divide by negative 2. We get t equals 9. All right, with number 16, there's 2 things I have to do first. First thing I have to do is add that 7. So 4 times the absolute value of b minus 1 equals 24. Now I divide by that 4. I have the absolute value of b minus 1 equals 6. Now I can break it apart and have b minus 1 equals 6, and b minus 1 equals negative 6. So I'm going to add 1. And I get b equals 7 on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, I have b equals negative 5. Last but not least, number 17 here, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3, just like I did in number 16. It's going to give me 1/3 times the quantity, or the absolute value of 2c minus 5 equals 4. Now I have this times 1/3, so I get rid of that by multiplying by the reciprocal. That gives me, those cancel, the absolute value of 2c minus 5 equals 12. Break it apart. 2c minus 5 equals 12. Okay, I'm going to add 5. It gives me 2c equals 17. Divide by 2. We get c equals 17 over 2. And on the right-hand side, I have 2c minus 5 equals negative 12. Add 5, and I get 2c equals negative 7. Divide by 2, I get c equals negative 7 halves. So there we go, all done. All right, we'll be doing more problems like this and going through it, so don't worry. All right, but that's just the intro to absolute value.